Intense moments at a press conference today as law enforcement struggles to explain where the time went. Is it true that the coward cavalry waited 90 minutes to go into this school as an 18-year-old with a semi-automatic rifle just mowed down a fourth grade classroom? Did they really just sit there with their helmets on and their bulletproof vests at the ready and their own assault rifles, superior firepower slung around their neck to listen to the soundtrack of bullets coming from this school? Well, finally, the media is going through with a big pushback here after my video yesterday called out this timeline. And they are really fighting back. But there were some great questions. So we're going to go through all of this today, and I'm going to kind of correct what the officer says as we go through this press conference. Let's get to the fireworks.
I'll take a few questions. And again, look, summary. One more thing I forgot to mention that I want to clear up that came out early on. It was reported that a school district police officer confronted the suspect that was making entry.
All right.
Not accurate. He walked in unobstructed initially. So from the grandmother's house to the bar ditch to the school, into the school, he was not confronted by anybody. To clear the record on that.
Well, who wants to clear the record on this? Because it was reported. All these reporters putting this false information out there. Who the hell was behind this? Let's go to this Vice article here. When asked how much time passed between the gunman arriving at the school and the gunman being killed, Texas Director of Public Safety Steve McCraw chimed in. Now let's go down here to Steve McCraw's actual statement related to this. A school resource officer heard the reports about the crashed vehicle, so he confronted him, according to McCraw. The gunman entered the school anyway. The school resource officer followed him right in immediately. At that point, rounds were exchanged. This again, not from some reporter, not from some wacko out there, but from the person who is the Director of Public Safety in Texas, Steve McCraw, working directly with law enforcement. This was not something that was done wrong by the media. If it is indeed incorrect, it's incorrect because of law enforcement.
4 minutes later, law enforcement are coming in to solve this problem. Step by. So, just want to clear that up. That's very important. And again, this will happen as we move forward. So, thank you. I'll take a few questions.
All right, how did he get into a school that's supposed to be locked on a school day?
So right now, during the investigation, it appears it was unlocked. So we're going to look at that and try to corroborate that as best as we can. I do not. Please, one at a time, and we'll address as many questions as we can. So let me finish this question.
One at a time. Announce your name. Announce your network. Okay. Be respectful, please.
Let's be respectful. There is now a real battle going on between the press, who realized that law enforcement completely fluffed up their bona fides on this. You guys weren't a bunch of heroes going in there in a blaze of glory. You were a bunch of zeros standing in a parking lot while parents screamed at you. It was only the elite Border Patrol unit that said enough's enough and went in and finally took care of this after, 90 minutes? They say 60 minutes. Who knows what the actual time is? But that's a bunch of nonsense. And by the way, the reason this door was open, I'll get you the answer since law enforcement can't do it. Authorities have not explained how the shooter got to the back door or the classroom door, which according to the district's security plan should have been locked. The school is holding an award ceremony Tuesday for students who are just a few days away from finishing the school year, which may be one explanation from the open doors. Parents reportedly were coming and going from the school all day. So they're suggesting that there was an award ceremony going on, school was wrapping up, and maybe that's why that door happened to be open.
So Josh, thank you for the question. So right now, it appears it was unlocked. Like I said, it goes back to the investigation. It takes time. We will find out as much as we can why it was unlocked, or maybe it was locked. But right now, it appears it was unlocked. So thank you. Yes, sir.
Everybody go at once.
Was inside there. Among the things you were attempting negotiation, was he responding to negotiation, and in that period of time, when the continued gunfire?
All right, so this is a great question. This reporter says, You say that those officers in the coward cavalry, they were doing stuff. They were getting things ready. They were getting ready for negotiations. The reporter says, was there any negotiation? Did you talk to him? Did anything go on? Or were you simply planning for this like you were going to automatically need to negotiate?
So during that time, right now, according to the information we have, the majority of the gunfire was in the beginning. In the beginning. I say numerous, more than 25. I mean, it was a lot of gunfire in the beginning. During the negotiations, there wasn't much gunfire other than trying to keep the officers at bay.
What negotiation?
That could change depending as once we analyze the video. But right now, according to the information, he did not respond.
During the negotiations, this is what happened. By the way, he didn't respond. You never talked to him. You were planning for this to be something totally different than it was. Maybe you overplanned. Maybe that was the case here. But in all reality, you just needed to go in and stop the shooter from killing kids. And they didn't do that.
My question is this: was there a school officer on campus? And was that school officer armed? That's what was being told.
So at this time,
Was there a school officer?
No. No. There was not an officer readily available
At this time?
armed. No.
Also, what readily available? Was there a school resource officer there or not? You say no at this time. Then you say there wasn't an officer readily available.
No. Nothing. I can't answer that yet. I'll circle back with you again. As we do that investigation,
Zachy
we
over
have
here.
all these questions we want to answer. So, but I'll get back with you, sir. Yeah.
There is a 12-minute gap. There's a 12-minute gap from when he won. Practice is slow. So when he enters the school,
I'll explain.
what happened in that 12 minutes?
Okay, so he said there's a 12-minute gap in your timeline. If you watched yesterday's video, here is my very shoddy, very badly drawn timeline. Or written, I guess I should say. 11 to 11:25, he shoots his grandma. 11:30, the officer engages with him, but he gets past the officer and he enters the school. 11:32, a 911 call from a student, allegedly shots fired. 1:06, the suspect was killed, meaning there was over 90 minutes of time when he was just in there and nobody was going after him. Here is our new timeline. Now they're saying, all right, we shuffled some things around a little bit. He crashed his truck at 11:28 a.m. At 11:30, we received a 911 call. At 11:40, the shooter enters the school. So this reporter is asking a great question. What the hell was going on for 12 minutes there? For 12 minutes? This guy, the shooter just kind of wandered around. They said he jumped a fence or whatever. Like, it's not going to take him 12 minutes to get somewhere that you could walk to in 15 seconds.
So you got to understand, 11:30 is the information we have at this point that we can confirm. 11:30 a.m. the PD gets we got a crash and a man with a gun. Then you have responding officers. That's what it is. If it's 12 minutes from 11:30 to 11:40, that's the information we have right now.
That's
Look,
10
at the end
minutes.
of the day, our job is to report the facts and have those answers. We're not there yet.
We're to believe, you gotta be a nut job to believe this. We're to believe that this shooter pulls up to the school, crashes in his car, and jumps out and starts firing on a couple of people, and that he spends 10 minutes just lollygagging around before he goes into the school? He was going so fast to the school to try to shoot this place that he crashed his truck into like a concrete ditch. But then he just slowed down. He just really hit the brakes and took 10, 12 minutes to get inside the school. This makes zero sense.
Say it again.
What was the
So-
first 911 call?
So right now, the first 911 call is at 11:30. I will get the time what it took to respond. So we'll have that answer. Could. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of possibilities. Until we receive an interview, because there was numerous officers
They got to talk to all
at
the
that
cops.
classroom, numerous. Once we interview all those officers, what they were thinking, what they did, why they did it,
Yeah, I want some questions to be asked to those officers. In particular, the officers in this, and I'll get back to this press conference in just a second, but this is just stunning stuff, and it's why everybody's so angry. This is the parents in the parking lot. Look, bulletproof vests, guns, helmets, but they won't go into the school. Meanwhile, they won't go in the classroom, but they have detained one of the parents who's upset because their child is in this classroom. Let's ask these officers what's going on. The parents here are begging to go into the school to save their kids. And look at this officer, he's got all the gear on. Dude, what are you waiting for? This is your moment here. He's got a taser out. You see the taser in his hand? He has a taser right here, not for the shooter who's inside this 4th grade classroom, but for the parents who are out here daring to demand he go inside. Unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. These officers should be held to a fire to answer these questions, and they should be held accountable for their inaction in this case.
The video, the residual interviews, we'll have a better idea. Could anybody have gone there sooner? You gotta understand, it's a small town. You have people from Eagle Pass, from Del Rio, Laredo, San Antonio responding to a small community.
All right, let's see what the next question is.
That's a tough
So
question.
he said, should the officers have gone in sooner? Should they have waited for more? Should they have gone in sooner?
That's a tough question.
No, it's not.
Again, it goes back. Our job is to report the facts. Report the facts, and later we can answer those questions.
That's not a fact. He asked you a strategic question. And legal experts and law enforcement experts will tell you that in these situations, you got to get in. You don't just sit around and wait.
I don't have enough information to answer that question just yet. So, one more question, please.
Is it accurate that eyewitnesses and potentially parents of the students were urging the police to go in while you were waiting for a tactical SWAT team, even that some parents were asking to borrow police armor so they could make a counter-assault on the school?
I have heard that information, but we have not verified that yet.
Okay, well, I mean, I can help you if you want. I mean, there's a lot of videos like this one
they're
as
just
well.
all fucking parked and outside, man. They need to go in there.
Get in! What the fuck is the fucking deal, dude? There's kids. Oh, man. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna fucking go.
There's videos after videos after videos of these people in these situations that was just described by that reporter.
So,
What part haven't you verified?
we have not verified if that a true statement or not. Or is it just rumor out there? So you got to understand, we're getting a lot of information we're trying to track down and see what is true. We want to vet it. That's all I have.
We understand.
Thank you so much.
Can you explain to us?
Oh boy.
So look, we appreciate the questions.
What were the officers doing between 11:44 and 12:45?
I got you. Yes, sir.
You guys have said that he was barricaded. Can you explain to us how he was barricaded and why you guys did not reach that door?
So I have taken all your questions into consideration. We will be doing updates. We will be
Damn,
doing updates.
man. You gotta be kidding me. This is wild. So even if you go by their newly constructed timeline, which has the shooter just kind of whistling his way into the school over the course of 10 minutes, you still have from 11:44 to 12:44 that they sat around and did nothing. And you could tell it made them uncomfortable. And finally, there's some pushback. But these officers were on camera for the first 24 hours, and almost every last one of them could not pat themselves on the back hard enough. That is really, really stark in the differences that you see between that and what actually happened on the ground. There wasn't any heroism from the officers who these poor people were trying to get just to go in to save their loved ones. And the reports that officers were going to get their own kids at the school, still unconfirmed as of now. Let me know what you think of these shifting timelines. Let me know what you think of the coward cavalry that sat there for 60 minutes, 90 minutes. Who knows where we're going to end up on all of this? I'm sure that they'll investigate themselves and come back with a report that suggests they're squeaky clean and did nothing wrong. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did these cops behave in a way that was cowardly? Were these cops in the wrong? Should they have immediately gone into that school and attempted to take down that shooter, regardless of the fact that he may have been in a classroom with young kids around him at the time? He was shooting in that classroom already. Should they not have stopped him? Let me know in the comments below. Facebook.com/The News Junkie. Hit that follow button. YouTube.com/The News Junkie. Hit subscribe. I'll see you in the comments as always. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you again real soon.